What is up, guys? I'm back here again. Now I have the GoPro with me, and we'll make a much better video. Sun's not out. It's pretty nice. Got the car here, drove it for a while. Always love driving, man. Just driving. I love it. So anyways, in this video we're gonna go through what it takes to turbocharge your VQ. So HR, VHR, DE. So this is specifically for DE. Obviously beginning with the turbo. So the turbo itself, obviously you need, or else you won't be making any boost, right? So this is specifically for a turbocharged application. So there are definitely other ways you can boost the VQs. You can do a supercharger, you can do a turbocharger, and there's a lot of companies that do that. Twin turbo, single, rear, mid, top mount, and also superchargers. The old Stilling kit that was on top of the intake, do a Vortec V2 or V3, like all that. Those are, I'm not gonna get into the specifics of that right now in this video. I'm just gonna go through my setup. So what I have is a mid-mount single turbo kit from GRN Performance. Shout out to Gavin that made me this kit. So what we did was that we went with obviously a 64-67 turbo, which is oilless and air cooled. Now a lot of people think about that kind of turbo setup and people are like scared away from it because how are you lubricating your oil, right? I mean lubricating your turbo. So what we did, what I've seen a lot of guys go through is this turbo has been out for quite a while now, so about like three to 4 years, maybe even more, I'm not too sure. But that turbocharger is it's a good setup for a bottom mount, like, or a rear mount setup. Top mount, I'm not too sure. Maybe you'll get too hot and the grease will dissipate more. But mid mount and rear mount probably is, the grease will probably stay much more longer in the rear mount compared to the mid mount. Go with another option. You can go with oilless but also coolant cooled. You can go with coolant cooled. You can tap 2 coolant lines, one return, one feed to the turbo, and then you could just pump grease into it. A lot of guys run that setup that I know. Even Fresh Kicks, he runs that turbo. After that, you're gonna need your piping, your hot side piping and your cold side piping. So there's 2 sides of a turbocharger. One's hot and one's cold. The hot side manifold is gonna include your it comes off both banks, comes into one collector, and then you have the turbocharger that mounts right to it, right underneath the passenger side where the test pipe would be. A turbo right there, and then you would get a downpipe that comes right off the turbocharger itself. And ideally what most Boost Performance and a lot of other kits, they go with a 3-inch downpipe, but you can go, depending on your goals, you can go with a 3.5 to 4-inch, but I think 3.5 is enough, especially if you're a built motor and stuff like that. You're also obviously you need to let that air exhaust escape more faster. So you have your hot side piping manifold, and then you have your turbocharger, then you have your downpipe, and then your downpipe will connect to wherever the Y back system of that exhaust system is. So for example, right where the Y pipe ends, that's where your exhaust is going to start. Whatever exhaust you have, whether it be Tomei, Motordyne, ISR, whatever it is, single, dual, whatever. With single turbo setups, you kind of run into that like custom fabrication kind of thing. So my downpipe from GRN is a custom 3-inch, which is one piece, and it bends all the way to the Motordyne Y back. So that's my exhaust setup there. And then you're gonna need your cold side piping, obviously, right? So the cold side piping for these kits are about 2.5 inch. It comes right off the turbo compressor housing, comes all the way up and around the steering rack, and then come up through here and comes up to the intercooler, and then that's it. So you got your cold side piping, you got your hot side piping, now you got your downpipe, and now you have the intercooler. So price wise, you're looking at, so the piping itself, I'm not too sure about that. My fabricator did all that. Hot side piping, 2.25, depending on your diameter. I went with 2.25. Definitely recommend, if you're a hands-on person and you have an idea of how exhaust and all this stuff works, and you have a buddy that can fabricate, or you can fabricate yourself, definitely try it. Just go for it and see, you know, mock it up, see what clears and what touches. That's literally what we did, and we test fitted like about 3 to 4 times to make sure it was right. It's one thing. Definitely it'll be much cheaper if you source the stuff yourself and actually make it by scratch. So your intercooler, you're looking at, you can source that. I don't know how, I think it's about $1,000 just the intercooler. Your blow-off valve is probably another $300 to $400 depending on the brand. I went with Tal, so that's around $300 to $400. You're looking at the wastegates. I went with Precision wastegates, 40 millimeter. You can go with Tal as well. Tal is solid. Precision, Turbo Smart. Those are around the $400 to $500, maybe even $600 range. Gauges, you're looking at these are like 250 to 200 USD each, maybe for one. So definitely, and that's not even including the turbo kit. You need, especially you need a turbo, a boost gauge and a AFR gauge. You need that for sure for the tuner too, or if you're tuning it yourself or whatever, you need that information. I went extra mile to get the oil temp and coolant temp. I want to monitor everything because just it's good to know. We ran it after all the hard work that we did. I understand why these turbo kits cost so much, because there's so much R&D that goes into it. Couplers and stuff like that, they cost a couple, you know, these couplers and V-bands and clamps, they add up. So it's a lot of couplers and clamps that go together, you know. So you have a coupler there, we got a coupler there, then we got a coupler right here, then we got another coupler down there. Like there's a lot of them. All in, I've obviously that's just the turbo kit itself. So that's not including the gauges, that's not including the fuel injectors, that's not including the fuel pump. Like, you know, fuel pump can cost you about $200. Your injectors, depending on the brand, Detchworks, or the best in the business is Injector Dynamics, which is what I have, 1050X. They're solid and it's worth the money. Buying a quality part, definitely this is one thing I'll tell you: buy the quality stuff, buy the good brand stuff. You won't run into problems. Injectors, I'm not running a fuel return on this. I think it's just overkill for a stock motor. I'll do that on a built setup that we do in the future, but for now it's good enough. You're also looking into, like, if you don't have E85, you might as well run meth. But take it in, like, my car was down for a while and we had to, like, you know, we had a lot of setbacks, and like we needed this little clip or this little clamp, or you know what I mean, and then go to Amazon, order it real quick. Highly recommend, like, if you're not hands-on type of person, or like you're not trying to fabricate or go through like the hassle of like doing all this, definitely just buy a kit and you'll have the piping laid out for you, and then you could source your injectors, your pump, and whatever you would like to set up depending on your setup, where your goals are. Definitely you could do that. At the end of the day, you're trying to have fun. Honestly, if I were to give you a price on this estimate, like round ballpark, $5,000 to $5,500, everything in, boosted, tune, and all that. But that's with custom piping and having, you know, a good support system, a good team behind you. You need to have that. If you're doing this, you could do it by yourself, it's fine, but yo, it really helps having a nice set of people behind you and supporting you, and, you know, encouraging you. Yeah, don't worry, let's do it this way, or you know what I mean. You guys come together and brainstorm together and make it happen. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for the next video. Hope you guys enjoy this, man. I hope it helps you guys. If you have any questions, just put it in the comment section below and let me know. Let me know on Instagram, or just comment down actually on the YouTube video. I can reply even faster. If you comment on the YouTube video, I can get back to you. Definitely just comment down below and let me know, and I'll reply to you and give you the best answer possible that you're looking for from my experience. Thank you guys.